welcome to the Nate and Dorin podcast. We are professional videographers based in Vancouver, Canada, and we are here to talk about relevant topics within the video and media industry. I'm Nate, and I run Nate Dixon Media.
And I'm Dorin, the videographer, a solo entrepreneur offering video production services. And today, we're going to become a trivia podcast. And you can
Ah,
play along with us as you listen. We ran out of ideas, but yeah, let's lighten up the mood and let's just be silly for an episode and maybe learn a few things.
it's not all
What?
fun and games, Dorin. Yeah, there's going to be
Yeah, man.
learning
Of course.
for sure.
That was the original scope. Yeah, yeah. Um, so you're gonna have 10 questions. I'm gonna have 10 questions for you. You're gonna have 10 questions for me, five from a category, so like four categories in total. So I did some about kind of video gear or gear in general regarding like
hmm
movie industry, Hollywood stuff, and some famous movie trivia. So like some movies that I think are famous and are well known, some interesting trivia about them. What are your two categories?
I've got movie tech breakthroughs,
Mm-hmm.
which might overlap a little bit with video gear. We'll see.
Yeah.
And then videographer acronyms slash slang.
Oh my. Okay.
Yeah. And these are all going to
Hopefully.
be multiple choice, right?
Yeah.
So you'll at least have a 1 in 3 chance of being able to guess it right
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
have
I think
absolutely
that's
no
fair.
clue.
Yeah, it makes it more interesting. It might like mess with your brain. Like, oh, I think both of these could be. I don't know which one. Um. All right. Well, I will start off first. And I did go with some older, in order to avoid maybe overlap with you. I kind of went with the really old stuff.
Okay.
So the first thing I'm gonna quiz you on is the first talkie. That's what they called it, a talkie, in Hollywood, meaning the first film made with sound, because they had silent picture at first. Then
Okay.
the first sound movie that used sound was produced in 1927, but which movie is it? Is it A, Speak from the Heart, B, Singing in the Rain, or C, The Jazz Singer?
Ooh.
Speak from the Heart, Singing
Okay.
in the Rain, The Jazz Singer. Which was the
Dang.
first film made with sound?
So one that they all have speaking or singing in the title, so that right
Exactly.
there makes it hard. Um, speak. I'm gonna think. I'm gonna narrow it down to one of the singing ones because I think I would go watch something with somebody singing more readily than something with just somebody talking. And I know they played like background music and stuff during the silent movies, but I will guess Singing in the Rain.
You are incorrect. It is The
Ah,
Jazz Singer, actually.
ah, the other
Uh,
singing one.
Singing in
Okay.
the Rain, I knew off the top of my head. Speak from the Heart, I just made up. I don't know if that's an actual movie, probably somewhere, but I thought of using something with speak in it to bait you.
Hated.
Um, yeah,
You're a master.
and yeah. Okay. Um, so let me find where was the doc that I had up with this information.
What's up, Doc?
Um, Gosh, I have so many tabs open. Did I actually lose it? Hold on. Gotta be here somewhere. How about you hit me with yours while I find the answer for mine here, or just some context. I want to give you a bit of context.
Okay, give some context about the
Mm-hmm.
jazz singer. Okay. I wonder
Yeah.
if it's been ever remade because it feels like I feel like I've heard that title before, but
Mm.
not in that context. Hmm, the jazz singer.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's almost like public domain now, 100 years after, right?
Not sure. Actually, I found some. I found the page. So yeah, it was produced in 1927. It actually, and this surprised me. Here's another trivia on top of this one.
Mm.
It used both synchronized recorded music as well as lip synced singing and speech in post. Like I knew when they
Wow.
added sound, everything was in post and it was tried to lip sync, and that's why it's off. But they actually used synchronized recording for the music score.
Cool.
Oh, that was pretty cool. And actually, the movie's pretty
Nice.
interesting for its time. It's a full 89 minutes. And it's about a young woman who defies the tradition of her devout Jewish family to become a jazz singer. That's actually pretty
Mm.
spicy.
Very.
All right, Nate, hit me up with yours.
Okay. Um, okay. So I've got the movie tech breakthroughs first.
Hmm.
Okay. So Doran, when was the Steadicam invented and first used in a movie? Was it the 1970s, the 1980s, or the 1990s?
I need a clarification real quick. Is
Mhm.
Steadicam the name of the brand or the type of technology?
It is the type of technology because it wasn't originally first called the Steadicam, but it is
Ooh.
defined as like basically the camera being attached to multiple points on someone's body with like a harness to like distribute the weight more evenly.
So my options are 70s, 80s, and 90s?
Yep.
I'm gonna guess 80s.
You are incorrect.
Ah.
The 1970s, a guy named
Wow.
Garrett Brown, he invented this and he originally called it the Brown stabilizer, and it was used in a movie called Bound for Glory in 1975. And then,
Interesting.
yeah, it kind of started getting traction after that, used in a Star Wars movie. Martin Scorsese used it in Raging Bull. So it just kind of picked up traction in The Shining, the Stanley Kubrick movie, 1980. So, but yeah, Garrett Brown in the 70s invented that bad boy.
Cool. I was trying to think. My thought process was, movie sets like to use dollies and rigs. They're not going to use that until like modern music, video clips, or sports. That's who I
Mm,
thought would demand that. But okay,
mhm.
interesting.
Yeah.
70s all the way back then, huh?
Yeah.
That's so cool. All right, I have another kind of gear related thing regarding Hollywood.
All right.
When was the first movie done in an actual Hollywood studio? Because we kind of associate Hollywood with, oh, that's where movies began. Like, no, that's where it grew and became really popular. But movies started before Hollywood. But when was the first movie done in an actual Hollywood studio?
Mm,
And
okay.
A, 1907, B, 1914, or C, 1923? So 1907, 1914, or 1923?
Mm, you know what? I'm gonna go for older because I think it would have been starting up earlier. So I'm gonna say 1907.
Okay. Um, that is incorrect. It's 1914. But here's the cool thing that I did, and that's why it took us so long to prepare this. I'm sorry for waiting this long, Nate. But I actually made the other two answers be interesting trivia points as well. So
Okay.
1907 was the first feature uh, film reel. It just wasn't Hollywood studio. The
Mm,
first Hollywood studio one was 1914. And in 1923 was when they put up the Hollywood sign.
ooh, that's cool.
So there's a triple whammy for you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I can give you another movie tech breakthrough trivia.
Yeah.
All right. What was the first feature film shot and edited using all digital and no film?
Ooh, okay.
Was it, and I'll give you the years too, so you can kind of get an idea.
Oh,
So
thank
was
you.
Was it A, Wind Horse in 1998? Was it Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace in 1999? Or was it Spy Kids in 2001?
Hmm. Definitely not the Star Wars one. I don't think. Spy kids, young generation, new, modern. That's baiting me really hard. And I think you're doing
Robert
a reverse.
Rodriguez.
I think you're doing a reverse bait here, where you're
Yeah.
baiting me to go for it, thinking that I'm not gonna go for it because I'm aware that you're baiting me, but it's actually the real answer. So I'm gonna go with C, the Spy Kids.
Spy Kids.
Overthinking
Yeah.
Dorin.
Yeah, you're playing like 3D chess in your head. Um, the answer is Wind Horse in 1998. It was shot on a prototype of the digital beta Sony DVW-700WS and the prosumer Sony DCE-VX1000,
Mm-hmm.
and it was edited all in Avid.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Um,
so far we're 0 for 0 on guesses here, but we learned a lot
we're
of cool
learning
stuff.
lots. We're learning. That's right. All right.
All right, ready for mine?
Yeah. Let's hear
All
it.
right. Um, when was the first patented film camera designed? It was designed by Frenchman Louis Le Prince um in England. The first patented film camera was in which year? And
Do I have options?
I'm not talking about film as in film photography, like using a film strip.
Right.
I'm talking about the first film, like movie film
Okay.
camera. The options are A, 1900, B, 1896, or C, 1888. 1900, 1896, or 1888.
Hmm. I'm pretty sure there is the technology of taking like kind of a burst photo, definitely in the 1800s, kind of like multiple rapid shots of film, but it wasn't like a patented camera. It was more of like a proof of concept. So this guy, I'm gonna guess he did this, let's say 1896.
You're going with B, 1896.
Yes.
That is incorrect. Correct
Darn.
answer is 1888.
Oof.
That
He got
is
that done.
bonkers. And actually you were very close on a concept there. There were several people with a lot of earlier before 1888 with a lot of prototypes, but none of them were confident enough to get a patent on it until this guy.
Mm.
Um, and it was a Kodak camera, actually. Um, and basically, what it did is it had, where is the full info on this? Like it had 16 lenses, and basically the strip was being pulled, and each lens triggered to
Oh,
capture an exposure. But he like then improved it to a single lens and the film doing a trigger on its own. Very complex stuff. But yeah,
wow.
originally the camera had 16 lenses and the film was being played through all of them or something. It was like, whoa, man. It's
iPhones are and Samsung is working their way back to that with the more and more lenses on the back. It's coming full circle, baby. All
All
right.
right,
You
hit me
ready for
up.
another movie tech breakthrough? All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, which movie had the first fully CGI character? And your options are Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Wow, it's showing up here again. Or Young Sherlock Holmes.
Not giving me the years for these ones, eh?
No,
So the first full CGI character, so it could be like a
yeah,
background character.
fully CGI character.
Um, let's go with the Star Wars one.
Your guess is The Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
You are incorrect.
Ah,
Sorry. It was in Young Sherlock Holmes in 1985.
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So Lord of the Rings was like 2001, Phantom Menace was 1999, and those are more well-known fully CGI characters, Gollum, Jar Jar Binks,
Right.
but Young Sherlock Holmes in 1985, Industrial Light and Magic took 4 months to create this character, and the character is called the Stained Glass Knight. So you can look it up on YouTube, and there's this stained glass knight. Like, I think that he had like a sword fight with another character, and that was the first fully CGI character.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
seems
Yeah,
pretty
sword
early for
fight's
that,
not
doesn't it?
something easy to animate, I don't think.
Yeah, pretty nuts.
Indeed. Um, this was interesting when I looked it up or when I found it. The first telephoto zoom, but also sort of a dolly zoom kind of effect. You know what I mean? Like going from like wide shot to close up. The
As they're
first,
moving the camera.
yeah. So I'm kind of giving you a hint with that, technology
Okay,
wise, because like before optics, they just did more, moving physics or
sure.
whatever.
Okay.
So the first telephoto dolly zoom effect was done in which year? 1900, 1920, or 1933?
Hmm. I seem to always be picking the middle option when it's usually one of the other options. I think 1900 is too early, and I always pick the middle. So this time I'm gonna pick the more recent one, 1933. That's my guess.
Mm-hmm. No. Incorrect. Actually, 1900.
Again, so
Um,
early.
yeah.
Wow.
Um, so in the early 1900, the transition of a distant shot to a close-up was not the work of editors, but of the director. This was done by mounting the camera man on wheels and then on a track which physically moved the entire camera closer to what was being shot. And they had like a huge um, sort of um, what do you call it? Like a hood around the
Okay.
camera that was like, for sunlight and other stuff. So
Oh,
it just looked
sure.
like this huge accordion that's like
Oh,
compressing and the camera's moving forward. It's like, what the heck is going on here?
and
Yeah, it's
that had a zoom on it, hey?
they manufactured the zoom.
Oh,
So it's
okay. I think
it's
I
it's it's like
misunderstood.
a telephoto lens, but it's a dolly effect. It's kind of both what they did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's trippy.
Yeah, I know some movies way later on got famous for using that effect, but actually that effect was first used like in 1900.
Wow. All right. I've got another character question for you. So, what was the first movie to have an animated and live action character on screen at the same time? So, animated, live action, interacting, same time.
Hmm.
So, this time I've got years for you. Okay. So, you've got The Three Caballeros in 1944. These are all Disney movies, by the way. Fun and Fancy Free in 1947, or Mary Poppins in 1964.
I was hoping you would throw in Who Framed Roger Rabbit in there, just because I would have
From
picked it. Because I'm like, yeah. um. So say it one more time.
so, The Three Caballeros in 1944, Fun and Fancy Free in 1947, and Mary Poppins, 1964.
Let's go with the 1947 one.
Fun and Fancy Free.
Yeah.
Incorrect.
Oh
It
man,
was
we're
actually
we're not good at trivia. Nate.
it was actually The Three Caballeros, and it featured Donald Duck visiting Latin America, and he was meeting other animated and human characters.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Actually, I want to watch that now. Latin
Yeah, it
America.
was more like I think it had six shorter sections, so it was all kind of the same story, but it was six like little sections, one after another,
Latin America in the
featuring him.
40s. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that's cool, Nate. No overlap, so we did good. Um, Here's my last one for the um camera gear, sort of, or the
All right.
technical component side of things. When was the first accessible and portable consumer film camera available? Okay, so Hollywood and their big
Mhm.
rigs, when was the first affordable, like accessible for a consumer, but also
Yeah.
portable
All right.
consumer film camera? Is it A, which year did it come out? Is it A 1987, B 1965, or C 1888?
All right.
Which you might
I
recall.
will
So I'm messing with your mind now. You got to think about it.
I will go with 1965, and I feel like it's a Kodak camera.
Ooh. Um, Take the doc. Yeah, 1965, the Kodak Instamatic M2. Um,
Nice.
yeah, just took a bunch of photos there. Let me just find the doc real quick, because actually, there's an interesting thing happening here. So, in 1965, the Kodak one. Um, but also in 1987, which was answer A,
Mhm.
was the first digital camera. That was
Mm,
Casio VS 101. So both of
okay.
these are correct
Yeah.
answers in their respective category, but if it was purely which is the first consumer film camera, whether it's analog or digital, you chose correct. 1965, the Kodak Instamatic M2.
Nice. Yeah, I knew around like the 60s there was an explosion of like 8 millimeter films. Like that's what Spielberg got started on and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so
And the reason I threw 1888 back in there, um, it's also the first film camera for consumers in the sense of the photo film.
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But obviously we were going for film as in video as well, like film
Right,
movie.
right.
So well done, Nate. You're 1 point ahead of me there. But we gotta switch up categories. Let's see if I can do better on on your last one here.
Sure. All right. You mean to start here?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got videographer, acronyms, and slang. So, Doran, I'm going to start with what I'm hoping is an easier one for you.
Sorry, did you do
What?
your first five? It's like I
Oh,
just did
sorry.
my
Yeah, I've
fifth,
got
and
one
now is
more.
your fifth. Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, I meant to say we're switching categories, but let's do your last one. Yeah.
oh, yes. Okay. Okay. I've got one more for you. What was the first time IMAX was used? Was it for something called Cyber World in 2000, Tiger Child in 1970, or the Rolling Stones live at the Max in 1991?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Cyberworld 2000, Tiger Child 1970, the Rolling Stones live at the Max 1991. When you were born and I wasn't.
Ugh. Um, I think in 2000,
Cyberworld?
Cyberworld. Yeah, let's go with that.
All right. Well, the first time IMAX was used was actually in Tiger Child 1970.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
I'm not too
it was made.
familiar with that. I just know it was like slightly higher resolution, like higher, like as in height pixels.
Yeah, it's a different dimension, but it's also like the film itself instead of like this big, it's like that big. It's like the bigger than a jump from like micro four thirds to a full frame sensor.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like so it was made for Expo 70 in Osaka, Japan, and the video itself was only 17 minutes long. And I couldn't find any info
Hmm.
about what was actually in it, but that was like the first time IMAX was debuted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, didn't get any points in that category. Hopefully I do better in the acronym one. Let me hit you with some famous movie trivia, Nate.
Okay.
Um, I'll pick Star Wars because I know you're a big Star Wars nerd. Um,
Star Wars.
Star Wars, uh, what was later referred to as Episode 4, A New Hope, so the first one that came out.
Yeah.
Hey,
Leia.
yeah, there, thank you. In 1977, so the first Star Wars that came out, which was Episode 4 now,
Yeah.
has achieved what to its name? A. It premiered in over 3,200 theaters. 3,200 theaters in 1977.
Okay.
B. Adjusted for inflation, it's the third highest grossing film of all time. Or
Mhm.
C. It's the worst film that critical rating film of that specific year. So it had like the worst rating in the year that it first came out.
Mm.
So A, it premiered in over 3,200 theaters. B, adjusted for inflation, is the third highest grossing of all time. Or C, it was the worst criticized movie of the year that it came out on.
Okay. I'm pretty sure it's not B. I know there's other movies that have overtaken it, even when adjusted for inflation.
Well, I
So
said
I don't think.
third, not first. So you
Yep.
gotta weigh that. Hmm.
Yeah. I think even I don't think it's third. I think it's lower than that now. Um, I don't know about the worst critically received. I I don't feel like it's that. So I'm gonna go with A. It was premiered in 3,200 theaters. Is that what the number was?
A 3,200 theaters, yeah.
3,200 theaters. Yeah, I'll go with.
3,200.
I'll guess that one.
That is incorrect. It is actually B.
It is third.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
there's a few different reports. Like, do you count like worldwide or just North America? Or
Oh
but
yeah.
worldwide, all time adjusted for inflation, it's third. Um,
Is Gone with the Wind one of the top ones?
um, I'm not gonna answer that.
Okay.
You will find out
Might come up
later.
later.
Yes.
All right.
Um, and here's a fun fact. I This is the first one that I purposely put like an obviously like no way. Like see, no way. Like it got the best ratings ever for a movie for up to that time. Like so many people loved it. But this blew my mind. Answer A it did not premiere in 3,200 theaters. It premiered in 32 theaters. It
Oh, only
flopped.
32.
Theaters didn't want it. And then after those 32 kind of liked it, they added like another 10. And then those 10
Yeah.
really liked it. And then it's like, all right, let's pump some money into marketing.
Mm.
But originally, it came out in only 32 theaters because there was not that much interest in such a movie.
Yeah, they're like, what's this weird thing?
Yeah,
Totally unprecedented. Yeah.
yeah. So I thought that
Wow.
was like, wow, way to flip a situation, you
To
know?
become the third highest grossing of all time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Man, that would have been so cool to be alive back then and see like what it was actually like, the hype and just the
Mm-hmm.
craziness of seeing something like that in a movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
Man, think about that all the time. Okay, are you ready for your first acronyms and slang
Yes.
trivia question? All right.
Yes.
Okay, this is the one where I was hoping it'd be a little easier for you. What does LUT stand for? Light usage table, lookup table, or lighting university technicality?
It's lookup table.
Okay.
I knew
Yes.
that.
I was hoping you would. So there you go.
Okay, giving me free points. Thanks, Nate.
Think of it as a math equation where, your source footage is in one space. You apply it because people are like, well, what does a lookup table even mean? And the best way that I heard it explained was it's basically like a math equation. It looks up in the table, okay, which numbers go where, and then
Mm,
you get your final answer. Well, not your final answer, but an answer within the color space or whatever that you're aiming for.
okay. Okay, I didn't know that detail about it, but that makes it have a bit more sense.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. All right. All right, Nate. I'll hit you up with an Avatar trivia here.
The Last Airbender.
No. No. Unfortunately, I should have picked that one too, but I don't know how familiar you are with it. Um, that's the Avatar: The Last Airbender, the animated series. I watched as an adult after I came to Canada. I wish I grew up with it as a kid. Holy cow, it's amazing.
Mm.
Not the movie. The movie was a horrendous
The
monstrosity
live action.
abomination.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Netflix is gonna do one. Hopefully they make it better. Anyway,
Mm.
Avatar 2009, the blue guys, the Navi.
Yes.
2009. Oh gosh, that's so
I
long
saw that
ago,
on
Nate.
opening night. I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Has
was a good
achieved
memory.
what? What has Avatar achieved, Nate? A. The highest grossing movie of all time. B. 69% CGI. Or C. They crafted new design for instruments. Like they made completely new instruments to play on their soundtrack. So A. Highest
Okay.
grossing movie of all time. B. 69% nice CGI. Or C, they crafted and made new instruments for their soundtrack.
Okay. I think it's more than 69% CGI, so I'm gonna rule that out. I guess more like 99%. New instruments. I'm trying to remember the soundtrack. Honestly, the soundtrack was not that memorable for me.
Hmm,
I think if it was somebody like Hans Zimmer that did it, I could see him like
definitely not using new
altering.
instruments if it's Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, he's a classic
Synthetic.
guy, but I could see him totally altering an instrument and mashing something up weirdly,
Okay, okay,
you
I can
know.
see that. Yeah.
Is it the highest grossing of all time? I don't know. I feel like other movies have eclipsed it and gone bigger, especially worldwide.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm gonna default to the new instruments thing because it's alien world. They want to make it sound more foreign. So I'll guess C, different instruments for the soundtrack.
Oh, really? You came back to that, eh?
Yeah.
um, you're actually correct.
Yes.
That's actually insane. That's actually I think that's actually mental. That's insane. They they were tasked to make um you know, like make new sounds, and they're like, well, the only way to make new sounds non-digitally is to just make new instruments. And they just made new looking things, and there you
Does it say
go.
like what any of the instruments are? Like, are they woodwind or are they
Like it would be a
percussion?
flute that wouldn't look like a Chinese flute, but it made the same sound as a Chinese flute, like very similar. Like they would
What's a
look
Chinese
different.
flute?
I don't know. I didn't look up that much, but like it would look like something that doesn't exist as an instrument yet, but it would make sounds like something that does exist. But the piping would be so different, and that's pretty
Okay,
fascinating. But it
gotcha.
wouldn't sound identical. It would still sound slightly different than
Mm,
what is what the actual
gotcha
thing
there.
is that it resembles.
Yeah. Okay.
Um
That's
yeah.
cool.
And let me quickly look up something here. Yeah, so I can tell you now. So Avatar is second highest grossing.
Okay.
Highest grossing is what you mentioned.
Gone
Adjusted
with the
for
Wind.
inflation. Yes.
Yeah.
Adjusted for
Okay.
inflation, that one's first, this one's second. Star Wars 1977 is the third. And actually, it's only 60% CGI. Remember,
What?
there's a lot of shots with the humans and on Earth and in a jungle, and like there's a lot of Earth scenes or in a spaceship scenes, and all of that is like a set. So not the
Mm,
entire movie was just them in the blue stuff, right?
okay.
So yeah, that was my first thought. I'm like, it's 95% CGI, and then I'm like, okay. Now seeing the stat and thinking about it, all right, you got me there.
Okay. Okay.
But good process of elimination, picking like the least like like I picked this one not because it's probable, but because the other two are more improbable than this
Yeah.
improbable one.
Yeah.
All right,
All
let's
right.
get an acronym going for me.
All right. Yeah, you got it. It's an acronym. What does HDMI stand for?
Oh gosh, Nate.
We use these every day.
Ah, yeah. Okay,
Do
you
you want
got
to
me
hear your
good there.
options?
Yes,
High definition movie industry, high definition media interface,
that's the one. But say
or
the C.
high definition managing integer.
No, it's B. Yeah.
You are correct. High
Yay.
definition media interface.
So we're two
The
for two
first,
now.
yeah. For a bonus point, do you know when the first standard like HDMI 1.0 cables and stuff came out? Can you guess what year?
Oh, in the 80s?
2002, bro.
Oh, yeah, HDMI, so HD, yeah, that was like after.
Yeah, DVD players.
Right. I was confusing it with
Yeah.
something else, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it actually the standard supported up to 4.95 gigabits per second of data, which just
oh,
seems like a lot, like way more than a DVD would ever use.
yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think it was also a standard for Blu-ray as well,
Yeah.
which starts to make more sense why you'd want so much bandwidth.
Mm.
But yeah, 2002.
Mm. Good old days.
Oh yeah.
I remember FIFA 2002. Played that like crazy. I think that's when the first McDonald's came out in my hometown in Romania, and that's with a Happy Meal. They gave us a FIFA 2002 demo disc.
Oh,
How's
that's
how's that
sick.
for a Happy Meal present?
Man, that's
You
the
could only
best.
play one out of four teams. That was the demo limitation, but heck, man, that was fun.
Mhm.
Good times. Ah, nostalgia. All right. Let's see, movie trivia. How about cartoon movies? Which cartoon, so animated movie, grossed highest? Is currently the all-time grossest ever.
Ew.
Is it A, Lion King. B. Frozen. C. Shrek. Now, this is a tough one, Nate. Yeah, you facepalm there. Yeah, you're
Frozen,
sweating now.
Shrek, or what was the other one?
Lion King,
Lion King.
Frozen, Shrek.
Oh, I want it to be Lion King, but I don't think it is. Shrek, I feel like that was more of a sleeper hit. Like it had a huge cult following afterwards, but I don't know if it did that well. Frozen, I feel, is going to be the biggest box office thing. Ah, but that was a new IP as well. They're all new IPs. Dang, that does not me. You know what? I'm gonna go with what I hope. I hope Lion King did this, so I'm gonna go with
Hmm.
Lion King.
Hmm. It is Lion King. It's actually the remastered 2019 version.
Oh, the fully CGI one.
Oh yeah, the
Really?
remastered one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. I was thinking of the original 90s
Oh,
one
sorry if
because
I
you
didn't
didn't put
mention
any
that.
years on them. Yeah.
Right, I put yeah, my bad. Yeah, so
Okay.
I have that information after the
Uh,
correct tick mark, so my bad for
gotcha.
that.
No worries.
Shrek that has gained so much meme
Dude.
popularity is actually 17th. I was heartbroken. All the
Mm.
other Shrek sequels are higher up. I was like, why? Why are people not buying this? Where are people getting the
Yeah.
screenshots for the memes?
I did my part, man. I think my grandparents took me to the first Shrek in theaters.
Yeah.
But
Frozen is actually third, and Frozen 2 is actually second.
oof,
So
that's
interesting how the sequel went
amazing.
above the original there. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, Frozen 2 is amazing. It's got some great songs in there.
Yeah. I would know. I
Like if
haven't
you
seen it yet.
oh, you haven't watched it? Oh man.
No, I haven't seen the Lion King one either.
Oh,
I don't
I
think
haven't
I've seen
seen
the Lion King at all. I've
oh
seen Shrek though.
man. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of Lion King dance recitals, so I know the story. But yeah, hate to see
See.
the music is so good in Lion King. Like
Oh,
holy
so good,
atmosphere
man.
and immersion. Like yeah,
Yeah,
well
it
produced.
really is good. All right, Doran. I've got your last acronym here. You ready? The other two are not acronym
Okay,
questions.
sure.
Okay. What does ISO stand for?
In search of. No, I'm just kidding. That's non-movie related.
Yeah, isolated. Okay, here are your three options: image sensitivity optimization, internal sensor operation, or International Organization for Standardization.
Well, it has to be A because C doesn't even match up with the acronym. And I don't think it's B. What was B again?
So B was internal sensor operation, and A was image sensitivity optimization.
Oh, okay. That could be B. But I'm leaning more towards A because that seems easier for dummies.
Easier
I'll go
for
with A.
dummies.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a dummy and I won't. Seems simpler.
Well, Doran, the thing with these acronyms is they're not always simple. That's why they're turned into acronyms. So you are wrong. It is the International Organization for Standardization, and it's out of order. I know.
You got me good there, Nate.
It
I feel like you
actually,
should get a point for that too.
right? In 1974, it combined, there was two separate standards, ASA and DIN. Don't ask me what those stand for. I don't know.
Okay.
But they combined it in 1974. And yeah, it's been used ever since to maintain similar brightness levels for different films
Hmm.
and then also adapted digitally, but it's purely an artifact for like film stocks. So ISO 200, ISO 400, whatever, different brands, if you compare them and they have the same ISO number, they're roughly the same brightness level. But yeah, it's kind of weird how they switched the letters around, isn't it?
Yeah. That's clever. Name. Yeah. Got me. Got me good.
Got him.
All right, here's a spicy one. I'm gonna end or so the second last one is a spicy one. The Room, the 2003 film by Tommy Wiseau,
Oh, hi, Mark.
is really really odd. For what reason? Or for this reason? A.
Just one.
I know, right? Tommy Wiseau, the director, filmed on two camera systems at the same time, both 35 mil and HD camera. This is back in 2003. B. It gained a huge cult following because it's so bad, it's so good. Or C. It had to add a new character at the end of the in the last couple of weeks of filming for the climax of the film because an actor left. He was fed up and left. So they had to make a new character and implement them to finish up the story. What is specifically odd about The Room? Filmed both on 35 mil and on an HD camera at the same time. It's really popular because it's so bad it's so good, or walkers act walking out and new characters being created to propel the story.
Let's see. I think it. I don't know if you would have had the budget to do A with the two different cameras at the same time. That just seems like a lot of extra work. I could buy C happening. I could see somebody walking out just getting so fed up. Um, but I'm gonna guess B. And I think even if you say it's a different one, I could argue this because it was like got so much cult following popularity that they did The Disaster Artist, where like
Mm-hmm.
James Franco and Seth Rogen
Mm-hmm.
made a movie just about the making of it.
Yeah.
So I think that would classify as popular because it's so bad. It's so bad it's good. So I'll go with B.
Okay. I was waiting to see if you would call me out on this. All three are correct.
Okay. Yeah.
You get the point, but if you guessed all three, you would have gotten mega points.
Oof.
Yeah, he filmed it in both 35 mil and HD on two camera systems at the same time. There's I it was so hard to choose from all the crazy trivia. Um but these are the main ones that were ridiculous, I think. It's a
Mm.
huge cult following because it's really bad and it's funny because it's so bad. And literally they create a new character at the end. They just add him to the party or something right at the end.
It's so funny.
Oh, The Room. What
What
a
an
funny story.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a quotable movie. All right. Ready for yours here?
Yeah, so if we're done with
All right.
acronyms, what are you hitting me with at the end?
All right, Doran.
Some
Well,
slang?
if you were on a Hollywood studio
Yeah.
filming a movie,
Ooh.
the slang term for the last shot of the day is called this. Is it the wrap shot, the martini shot, or the dippity doo shot?
Hmm. Dippity doo would be if Ned Flanders would be a director. Oakley dokley dipply dooley shot. um, Martini is very classy. I really like it. I really want it to
Martini.
be there.
Yeah.
Rap shot just makes sense, but I want it to be Martini, so I'm gonna go with my heart.
All right. Martini shot.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Yes.
Yes, it was named the martini shot because after that last shot, the next shot would be in a glass because of alcohol, drinking martinis.
Mm.
Yeah, get it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think it does sound pretty classy as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, it works.
we've both been part of grueling, long filming sessions and productions that I could totally relate with that. Like, oh, last shot, are we done? Yes, excellent. You know, uh,
Definitely.
inside jokes. All right, and my final trivia for you is, what is the highest grossing documentary? Is it A, Man on Wire? Is it B, Fahrenheit 11-9? Or is it C, Fahrenheit 9-11? 9/11. If you want years, I could tell you years of these two.
Sure, yeah. When did Fahrenheit 11.9 come out?
2018. Fahrenheit 9/11 came out 2004, and Man on Wire came out 2008.
All right. I've seen Man on Wire.
Oh,
That's great. Yeah, the guy walking between the twin towers. These are all twin towers related, aren't they? I haven't seen Fahrenheit
oh,
11.9. No, I guess Fahrenheit
maybe
9/11
it's a
isn't done, is it?
mockumentary. I don't know.
Um, what's that guy's name? Michael Moore, the guy who did Bowling for Columbine, Fahrenheit 9/11 suit. I can't think of the other ones he's done, but he's an accomplished documentary filmmaker. So I'm gonna go with the one that sounds the most well recognized in my eyes. So I'm gonna go Fahrenheit 9/11. It's the highest grossing.
You are correct. That is number
What the heck
one.
is Fahrenheit 11.9? I've never heard of that.
I know, I thought it's a mockumentary or something, or it's a
It sounds like
conspiracy
it.
one. It actually is. Filmmaker Michael Moore examines the current state of American politics, particularly Donald Trump presidency and gun violence, while highlighting the power of grassroots democratic movements.
Oh, okay. And
It's
11/9, like November 9th, is was that some significant date for
I don't know,
Trump administration? I don't know.
maybe maybe
Maybe that was
when
when he won the election or something.
yeah he got sworn in February or whatever, and yeah
Us Canadians,
I
we
don't
don't know all
remember the
the dates of
specifics.
that
Yeah,
stuff.
but yeah, it's interesting that he intentionally used that title in that order
Yeah.
to 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 maybe get some of the fame of from the title of the other one. But actually, the only reason I picked these was because I looked up a top 100 and I picked number 150 and 100. The number one's Fahrenheit 9/11, number 50 is Fahrenheit 11/9, and number 100 is Man on Wire in
Okay,
highest grossing documentary.
gotcha. Yeah.
Gotta watch some more
Kidok.
documentaries. I don't recognize any of these. Number two is March of the Penguins. Justin Bieber's number three. This Is It. Under the Sea. Earth. Chimpanzee. Born to Be Wild. Sicko. Okay, I gotta watch these.
Yeah,
They're
I've
highest grossing for a reason.
yeah, I've seen March of the Penguins as well.
Okay,
It's a good one.
2005. Okay, yeah, I have to watch.
Yeah. All right. Here's your last question.
Hmm.
All right. This is the process where a camera is angled so that the horizontal frame line is not parallel to the horizon. I think you're going to get this one, but
Hmm.
here are the three options: British angle, Vegas angle, Dutch angle.
Hmm. Not sure why you'd think I get this. So it's a
Oh,
camera
nice. I'm
technique.
excited.
It's a camera technique where you just don't have a level horizon.
Yeah, it's like tilted on purpose.
British.
British angle, Vegas angle, Dutch angle.
Okay, interesting. I'm trying to think of any logical reasons why someone would put those names for such a thing. Like Dutch is Dutch. Dutch is Netherlands, right?
Mm.
So those guys are flat. If it's that, I'll be pissed. Um, very poor name. Um, Vegas, like what? You're drunk and you pass out and you're like this. And British, are they on the 45-degree latitude or something? Like I can't wrap my brain around why it would be any of these.
Mm.
Um,
British angle. I just imagine someone like standing straight up, like one of those guards outside the castle. Like they'd be all straight up.
right. Like is this sort of a societal racial thing? Like, oh, those British are on angle or something. Like,
They get so tilted.
yeah. Um, I actually don't have the slightest idea. I mean, you know what? For the heck of it, let's go Dutch. Let's go the most like I'll be pissed if it's that one. Let's go with Dutch.
It is Dutch angle. You got it.
Why? Please explain to me why. Was the
Okay.
guy's name
Well,
Dutch or what?
so it's actually a mistranslation of Deutsch angle because it was invented by a
German.
German guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of a misleading. So a German guy, Robert Weine, I'm guessing is how you'd say it. Wiene.
Yeah.
He
Vina.
pioneered Weine. There we go.
Yeah.
He pioneered the shot in his 1920 horror film, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari,
Hmm.
and it's
All
been
right.
used since to,
Mm-hmm.
make you feel disoriented or try and match the character's state of mind.
Very effective.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Well, I'm glad you stumbled on the answer there.
Yeah. I mean, I went with my heart once, and then I went against my judgment once. But the fact that it's a mistranslation makes up for the annoyance of the association with Dutch
With a
flat
flat,
surface.
yeah.
And like on average, I think their national height for their landscape is like 3 meters.
I thought it was even like below sea level, even because of all their dikes and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Who knows, man?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they had to pump out a bunch of water.
Oh yeah. If their dike system fails, they're getting all flooded.
Like, do we invade other neighboring tribes to gain more territory? Nah, let's just suck up all the water and call it home.
Yeah. They just if they want more land, they just suck out more water and then they move more into the ocean.
I mean, Canada's got what, over 1,000 lakes or something? We could do that.
Dude. Yeah, way over 1,000. Way over. Yeah. Um, yeah. I
All
think
right.
that wraps it up there, Doran, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we learn a lot of interesting new things. Yeah, I enjoyed all of this. I really liked your picks. Blood was too easy,
Yeah.
but I'll take the 3 points. I lost track of points. I don't know if we're square or
Yeah, I
if
don't
you're
know.
ahead by one or two.
Don't know. But I think we both learned something,
Mm-hmm.
didn't we?
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, this was trivia with Nate and Doran. If you ever want us to do such a thing ever again, let us know in the comments.
Yes. And let us know if you appreciate the extra info about each answer, or if you'd rather we just like rattle off all our questions and you just see if you got them right or wrong right away. Because I know that's another way you can do it. And sometimes I get frustrated if like the people giving the quiz just get bogged down. I'm like, okay, just give me the next question. I want to see how much I know.
Mm. And here's a special. If somebody got at least 15 out of 20 correct, you're invited to be a guest on the podcast because you're obviously smarter than us.
Yeah, and we will verify that through means we don't know.
You have to record yourself reacting to our podcast in real time, giving
Yeah,
the answers before you hear them from us.
after you've heard this message.
Yes, it's totally not her. You've already heard this at the end. Oh, it's late. It's time for the videographer dads to go to bed. All
Yeah.
right, Nate. Well, this was fun.
Yes.
You want to do our shout out, our call to action at the end?
Sure. I was waiting for you to say thank you for watching and listening.
Yes, I kind of didn't, so I don't want to thank
And
him for this one. Thank you.
And be sure to subscribe to not miss an episode of the Nate and Doran podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever you use to listen to podcasts. This has been Nate and Doran. Thank you for watching and listening.